What's going on, everybody? It's Noah Bieniek and Ryan McIntyre, aka Moneyline Mac, from the College Basketball Experience, bringing you the top 5 games to watch for November 8th. We begin with game number 1, the marquee matchup of the night. North Carolina heads into Lawrence, Kansas, the Fog Allen Fieldhouse, 7 o'clock. You can watch this on ESPN2. Mac, what do you got? Kansas, UNC, should be a great game, right?
Yeah, it kind of sells itself. I mean, you got two blue bloods. You got the Roy Williams matchup. They just played in the national championship, 2 years ago. I'm looking for how does Carolina try and neutralize the Kansas size down low with Dickinson and Adams. I think Carolina was a little bit exposed on the interior by Elon of all teams, and I think this is going to be a tough matchup yet alone at the Fog. That's the matchup I want to see. Are they going to double the post? Are they going to get creative defensively? Does that open up shooters? What kind of game plan does Hubert Davis bring to neutralize the size advantage that Kansas has?
100%. I'm right there with you. Couldn't agree more. Matchup number 2 is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, and their pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all of sports: NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NHL, NASCAR, and more. And Boosttober is upon us, which means you're getting a spooky amount of profit boosts and much more. You can use these specials and boosts on all flexed entries. Sign up today with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. Matchup number 2 for us on November 8th is New Mexico against UCLA. Neutral floor here in Henderson, Nevada, beginning at 11. That's the tip-off on CBS Sports Network. Mac, what makes this game so interesting today?
I think just how UCLA is going to try and guard Dent. Dent is as good as they come from the guard position in the Mountain West. I think UCLA has multiple guys that they could throw at him. UCLA trying to get back to that identity of being a really good defensive team like all of Mick Cronin's teams. Can they make a statement here? New Mexico wants to play really fast. UCLA wants to drag it in the mud. Who wins the styles here?
Matchup number 3 is brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on moneyline spreads, totals, and props. You can build your own model or copy one of the top-performing ones from the leaderboard, and Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop and also has a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insights. You can now track props in the Rhythm app, and Rhythm also just launched their new college basketball models. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Matchup number 3 for us tonight, November 8th, Friday, is Bradley at Washington State. This one also tips off at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on ESPN+. Mac, what are some of the biggest storylines for this game heading into it?
Yeah, I think this is a great game. What a perfect that in UCLA, New Mexico to end the night. I'm looking at Duke Dean from Bradley. I know you love some Duke Dean here. I think Bradley's actually the better team in roster, but the game's in Pullman. It is only game number 2 of the David Riley era coming over from Eastern Washington, and they gave up over 90 points at Portland State the other night. How do they respond defensively? Do they get better in game 2? Bradley is no pushover, drawing them in your second game and running a program.
Yeah, and I'll call back to last year's NCAA tournament. Sure, Washington State's team this year is nowhere similar to last year's Washington State team, but that program beat Drake in round 1 of the NCAA tournament last year, which, of course, was the winner in the MVC. And this Bradley team returns a lot from a third-place team in the Missouri Valley last season. Game number 4 is brought to you by the College Basketball Experience's sponsor, BetUS. You can bet with the best in the business. They've been around for more than 30 years. You can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts when you're looking to cash out. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. Matchup number 4 is an interesting one here. Ferman at Belmont. Starts at 7:30 Eastern time. You can see it on ESPN+. These are 2 really good mid-major basketball programs. Mac, what makes this game so fun, and why do you want to watch it?
To be honest, I kind of look at them as kind of mirror images of one another with how they run their programs. They get high IQ guys. They're disciplined offensively, disciplined defensively. They both have had a ton of success over the last decade. Bob Ritchie and Casey Alexander taking over for Rick Byrd. I'm just looking for two teams trying to take that next step. They both were around 20 wins last year, so right in the middle of what their expectations are, but both have bigger aspirations. This would be a big win for whoever can get on the right side of it, headed into Feast Week here in a little bit.
And before we get into the fifth matchup of tonight, if you're not already, click the like button on this video first off. Hit subscribe, which is right next to that. Also, help us out on all podcast platforms. Give us a like, rating, review, subscribe wherever you listen to the College Basketball Experience. It's greatly appreciated because only you guys can help us prevent corporate gambling. Now, fully peeling back the curtain on this matchup, Max sent me over 4 games that he wanted to include on the top 5 today, and I chose this one as the 5th game because in 2023, so actually it was the fall of 2022 in November, the first game of the Lamont Paris era at South Carolina State gave them a dogfight. And we've already seen South Carolina lose one game this season to North Florida outright on their home floor. SC State goes into Columbia, South Carolina. This game tips off at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on ESPN+. Mac, you're pretty close to the South Carolina State program. You were on the coaching staff for the 2017 Final Four team at South Carolina. Tell me about this game. What do you have?
Well, but the coaching staff, actually, my guy is the head coach at South Carolina State, ironically, Eric Martin. He did an unbelievable job last year, taking them from 5 wins to 14 wins. They bring back 8 out of their top core guys from that team last year that took one of the biggest improvement steps. And you mentioned it, man. It was his first year and first game, and they almost went into Columbia and got a win. Lamont Paris, I'm sure they will be ready to go on Friday night because they're coming off an embarrassing loss against North Florida. I'm looking forward to seeing how the experience of South Carolina State kind of matches up with this youth of the Gamecocks. I think it's going to be a fascinating game in the Palmetto State.
We didn't display the game lines on any of the graphics on today's video. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the slides from Colby as he's at the Coastal Carolina football game currently when we record this. So I'm going to ask you just straight up, out of these 5 games, pick the team that you feel most comfortable meeting expectations. So yes, Kansas is probably going to be favored by 8. Would you expect them to win that game by 8? Would you expect maybe Bradley to pull off an outright win at Washington State because that spread's going to be around 0? For me, I think Kansas State meets or Kansas, not Kansas State. I think Kansas meets expectations and they exceed them against North Carolina. I think they win this one comfortably. How about you out of these 5 matchups?
I will co-sign you. So we will both be on the same side here. It's at the Fog. It's a spotlight game. Carolina without Baycott still trying to find their identity down low. I think Kansas controls the tempo, and that building's just going to be on fire. We know Bill Self with all those stats, and they pull away and put it on Carolina, I think.
If you're looking to hear about every single game on the November 8th slate with picks on the money line and against the spread, you can tune into today's picks show on the College Basketball Experience where Moneyline Mac, aka Ryan McIntyre, you can follow him on Twitter, Moneyline_Mac. He's giving out angles. I'm giving out angles from the cocktail napkin. You can follow me at NoahB77_ across all platforms. You can follow this show on Twitter at TCESGPN, and we'll be back next time.